Yeah, it's the Prankster podcast from live in downtown Burbank, California. Tonight's guest, Mr. Casseday.
That's me. I'm on the Pro Podcast.
That's right.
Pro Prankster Podcast.
With your host, Travis Draft and Mr. Damon Zwicker.
What up, everybody?
You need to get in a trance.
Travis, tell me about this track. Who's bringing this track in?
Well, this track's brought to you by my alter ego, Doc Spiders. Currently in the fucking woodshed putting together the next rock and roll experience you're going to see in Los Angeles. It's going to be the biggest rock show and the smallest venue you've ever seen. So yeah,
The Comedy Waterfall.
A gigantic, intimate performance is what I'm working on here. And this song right here is just probably will be a highlight of the show where everybody ends up pantsless at some point. That's the idea.
That's the idea, that everybody goes to the show and gets pantsless?
Well, the show is just going to go take you through all your emotions and led by just various pieces of rock and roll inspiration. You know what I mean?
So you're working on a new show?
Yeah. Well, Doc Spiders is.
All right, very nice. Well, listen, let's introduce who's here tonight.
Tonight, Casey Casseday, sitting to my right.
What's
I'm
up,
here.
Casey Casseday?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on, man. It's an honor to be here with you two in particular.
Well, we're pretty sure that this is broadcasting out to Facebook.
I got the Facebooks.
You got the Facebooks?
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. If it's this is the way that we're going to tech the show. If somebody out there is watching and it sounds horrible, or you don't have any sound, or you don't see any picture,
Text
somebody
one of us.
call me. Yeah, text somebody. Just
Yeah.
text us and let us know what's going on.
I don't know if you guys remember, I met you guys this month, October, 14 years ago. You in particular. So the timing couldn't be better. I'm honored to be here. I saw you on Memorial Day when you were just getting this set up, and this is like a real deal podcast now.
Well, you know what? We're getting there slowly but surely. As you know, probably there was an earlier kerfuffle.
Yeah.
Didn't quite go off right. We got
I think it
feedback
had
coming
something
back.
to do with the earthquake microswarms.
I'll tell you this.
Somehow interrupted our
Matthew,
equipment.
Hurricane Matthew.
And Matthew, yeah.
If anybody out there knows anything about podcasts and they can come over and produce this podcast for me, the technical ends of it, I will be forever indebted.
Internship available.
Internship available.
Yeah.
I'll pay you in whatever sponsor water we get.
Oh, you can come over here, do your laundry, and also at the same time run the podcast.
Where would you do
That's
your
a good
laundry?
trade-off.
The fluff and fold down the road?
It's just, no, you could do your laundry right here, right off
I know,
stage.
the wardrobe girls. Hey,
My socks done yet?
yeah, don't start the laundry now, wardrobe girls.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a high-end studio we're in.
It's beautiful. I love
beautiful.
what you've done here. Going back to how we all started in communication and cameras and stuff, to know that there's all this stuff you can set up in your garage. Pretty amazing. It's not how it used to be.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean in the studio, not in the garage.
Studio, right.
But thanks for not blowing up my spot.
Pull back
Oh, it's
the
terrific. Thank you, guys.
curtain.
No, I'm glad, Casey. I'm glad
Casey,
you.
don't pull back the curtain. You
Well, that's
don't
why you bought
want
the
to
house.
ruin the mystique.
No, I love it. I love it.
You bought
Listen,
the house because it came with a studio. I
No,
get it.
this
Yeah,
is the Pro
house.
Prankster. This is the Pro Prankster podcast. We just talk to people who work in the prank industry who have been paid professionally to prank people.
Coming to you from the matrix of the vortex of nowhereness.
A lesser man would park a car in here, but you've turned it into a
Just-
broadcast studio.
Just forget the physicalities of this
All right,
location.
no, yeah, let's move on.
We're
Whatever.
in,
Listen,
we're in
listen,
the
listen.
black
We're all
vortex. There's
You
nothing
cannot
but
see
space
behind the
around us.
wrinkled curtains.
There's nothing behind those curtains.
So willing suspense of disbelief. This is coming from beautiful downtown Burbank. The
Downtown
The Pro Prankster podcast. We have Casey Casseday here today. Casey, we met 2002 probably on
That's-
Scare
that's
Tactics out in
exactly
Las
right.
Vegas, right?
Yes.
What were you doing at
I
that
mean,
time for us?
First of all, let me say what an honor it is for me to be here with you two fine gentlemen who were some of my first contacts in the business. I had, before I met Damon, I'd never seen a director lie in a ditch with Duvatine over him with his own camera to get the money shot. You know what I mean? And being a USC grad, this thing called The Line that other prank shows don't take into effect when they're setting their cameras, like how the cut's going to work. And then everything I ever learned about the psychology of the mark, I learned from Travis, as far as like Travis pushing somebody to make that line work for the director. So, you guys were my idols when I got into this, and still are in so many ways. So,
all right, good. Let's move off to good stuff. So, what you started on Scare Tactics? But let's talk about you. You started up at. Why don't you talk about where you started? Because you have a long history of being involved in television.
Yeah, take us back to your humble beginnings.
I mean, I'll tell you, the first time I ever laid hands on a camera was a Sony VHS camera that my Uncle Gene brought home for Christmas when I was 12 years old. And he would go around and, he said the same thing every time. Here's my, aunt in her natural environment. He had very short clips. And once I was allowed to
like
play
he's doing a nature documentary on your aunt.
And that's what it was, right? He's walking around in his cowboy boots. And when I finally got my hands on it and learned like what that image is, that box that we, all based our careers on, that knowing what's inside that box, I fell in love instantly. And it took me several years later to find out that that's what I wanted to do for a living. And then, I went to Washington State University and got placed in a news job. Got fired from that news job for my driving in a company vehicle. You can't get away with shit with a 6-foot peacock on the side of your van. And then I was offered a job down here in Los Angeles at Playboy TV, which a lot of us spent a lot of our time, early on when Alameda was making those big productions. So I went
that was before Scare Tactics?
Yeah, I mean, my very first job in Los Angeles, I was here for 22 hours and got a PA job on the Weekend Flash, which was Playboy's version of the Naked News.
Right.
So I went from local news
to
naked news. And it was like, Mom, I'm never coming home. And it was a short gig, and it was never like porno. I never had to shoot porno. It was always comedy with naked people,
right?
Which is the funniest stuff.
It was actual
ever.
News. I mean, why would you not watch that show?
Except, the weather girl would tell you about the hurricane, take her top off, and then throw. That was the wipe, right? Like the jersey going back to the desk. So I mean, went from naked or local news to naked news, but that was a short run.
There was a time like now Playboy is just pretty much. I feel like it's just disappearing. I don't even think like are they even a thing? And they don't even. They're just done now, right? Or what? Are they even going to survive as this new incarnation?
I don't know. I mean, but you remember the golden years over there.
Because when I first came out here, first job was also for Playboy.
I love you guys talking about the golden years of Playboy.
Yeah, it was.
In what? The year 2004?
The golden
it's like
end years.
Hugh Hefner's at the end of his life.
Yeah.
Well, totally.
No, I'm sure the golden years were really in the 50s and 60s, but,
Totally Busted, though, is by far and away one of the funniest hidden camera shows I've worked
on,
since that's what we're talking about.
Right, well, let's do this first. Let's run down. Just give them some of the credits that you've worked on, all these prank shows.
Oh,
Tell us
man.
where you started and how it all led to each other.
But you can connect them to Travis, too, because you guys have done a bunch of shows together, right?
And
you
too. That he hasn't been affiliated
There's tons of
with,
connective tissue here.
But you started Scare Tactics.
Scare was my first gig. Gildersleeve hired me as like a data entry guy in my first month out here. And then soon I got.
But just give me the list, and then we'll go back and we'll talk about all those specifics.
So from Scare came Punked, right? Scare was first, then Punked was second. I don't know if either one of you guys. I don't remember you working on that show, but I got in art department on Punked. So regardless of my position, it was
Ashton, Ashton didn't want me to be on the show.
He's jealous. Sure.
It was. Ashton was like, "Oh, he's gonna be recognized."
Yeah. And Ashton's an underwear model. They got handed the world. So
right. Wait, did I say right to that? No, I'm just.
I'm telling you, that whole trucker hat thing that him and Britney Spears did, that was from Oscar Alberne's.
I don't even know what that is.
Alec Chambers was the first guy to show up with a John Deere hat on. Ashton adopted that. I swear to God.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, I remember Alex.
So from Punked, then I mean, God, it's so hard to remember because as an AC and PA working. Like little bits. So there's Totally Busted. I came on season 1 as like a utility. Girls Behaving Badly.
Did you work with Chelsea?
Well,
Handler?
I had a few days through Mark McCrudden, who I met on Scare.
Yeah,
so the way we've all taken care of each other, like over the years, but from there, breaking up with Shannon Doherty, which was a short run series too. after that, we did Them, which was totally hidden extreme magic, which was, a short-lived network series of 6 episodes or something like that.
Oblivious.
Thank you. Yeah,
you did Betty White's Off Their Rockers.
Betty White's. No,
there must have been something between Oblivious and Off the
Breaking
Rockers.
Up with Shannon Doherty.
Yep. The first
Hater.
dolly shot ever in the history of Hidden Camera.
Really?
I didn't do Haters.
You didn't do Hater?
No. Let's see. Digitally though, when it started going.
You did How We Do It.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did.
No. Did you do How We Do It?
The LA stuff, it was mostly
And
based
Deal
in
With
Toronto. Deal with it. Yep.
Deal with it.
We put Alex Mandel on his first ever bit on Scare 2 when he was 17, if you guys recall, that bit. But, God, I know I'm missing several. And
it's all relative to work on that?
No, it's just a weird thing. Like, I came to L.A. to make feature films, right? And then I get into this hidden camera thing that I'm really good at because it's just like being a prankster in general. So, like, the adrenaline rush that you get from that. Now I'm kind of a hidden camera specialist where I'm not good at features or scripted TV or drama, but I'm really good at hidden camera. So a lot of that stuff, whether it's camera or writing or just in the moment or even the edit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those things are very second nature to me, and reality in general is kind of voyeuristic. So that is, if you think of it from the eye of the cameraman, it's all hidden camera. Because you're not supposed to be seen,
I just think pranks are just like something you do your whole life. Like as a kid, you're pranking your younger brothers or sisters, whatever. Then eventually you get older, you're pranking your kids, and then they're pranking each other.
Right. I went to flight school out of high school, right? I was going to be a pilot, but my family was kind of like, really supportive once I decided to make that turn. It wasn't like you have to be this. It's... go to LA and do what you want to do with that camera. And luckily I met you guys and found like a real passion because it is.
Well, let's give a shout out to the guy who actually brought you down and put you to work right
Mike
away,
Harney.
right? Mike Harney.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did that happen?
Yep.
I'm a Coug, Mike hires Cougs. He gave me a great shot. As I said, I had to start off like everybody else doing data entry and runs as a PA. And I PA'd for about 5 days.
I love how you did data entry a lot.
Well,
like, where did you do data entry for TV?
You remember where their first offices were? It was right over here off of Hollywood Way.
Uh-huh.
But, in the first 2 episodes of Scare that were shot in Los Angeles, you guys are out there spending money. I had to, categorize all that money and where it was going. I guess I excelled at that so much that he sent me out to Vegas to live on Doug's pullout for $500 a week.
Nice.
But you know what? He let me shoot, too. And, that's something that I was already comfortable doing, having done live news.
How old were you at that point?
26 when I moved to LA. Yeah.
How much was everybody like? I feel like how about the other Cougs that were on the show at the time?
A little younger, 23, 24.
Like what was Cuffle? Daniel Cuffle, who's now like a union sound guy.
Cuffs is 5 years younger than me, so 21, 22.
Yeah.
They had normal careers. Like I said, I
could have sworn Cuffle hadn't even hit puberty yet when he started that show.
Or has yet.
Hey, Dan Cuffle, if you want to come down on the podcast,
no, I know Dan Cuffle's hit puberty now because he's had like 2 kids.
Yeah, it's proven. Totally.
And he's like 40.
No, I saw him one morning because he lives way the hell out in Chino Hills. So when we were on Off Their Rockers, he's always the first person there because he left his house at like 4 a.m. to beat traffic. And I saw him shaving one day in his car. So he both shaves and has pubes.
No way he shaves. That's fucking crazy. Do you remember like back when we did Scare Tactics, he was like maybe the only person on the whole crew that didn't drink or hang out.
And he's been a vegan, self-proclaimed vegetarian.
No,
since
now
5
he
years
like
old.
makes his own craft beers or something. Like I see he brews his own beers.
Does he have a website?
Still a
Can
Coug.
I fact check this at a website anywhere?
Has he ever?
No, he's a Coug. He drinks.
My question is, has he ever actually drank beer yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah, he
so
drinks beer.
Beer's vegan.
Yeah, Dan Cuffle,
So he
very
makes
nice guy.
Vegan beer.
One of the best
So
there ever was.
PSA for
Do you
Dan
remember-
Cuffle.
Hey,
Do you
I mean,
remember
you wanna
if you
guys-
need a very nice PA that's
No,
hit
no.
puberty, call Dan Cuffle.
Do you remember when you gave him an assignment? You left him in the desert with Josh Peters, who now is a development executive.
That's right.
And they were both PAs on the show, and you said, here's a fucking camera. I want you to make a short film for me
Yeah.
and impress me. And so they made a little short called like the chocolate donut or
chocolate
something like
muffin.
that.
Chocolate muffins. I still have it.
Fantastic.
So
Shout
what-
out Pabco Gypsum.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
I challenge either Dan Cuffle or Josh Peters to come on and talk about their movie.
I love it. I love it.
Cuffle was a freshman when I was a senior at WSU, and he was the first one to adapt to nonlinear editing. Media 100 was the first Adobe program that came out. While we were forced to cut SVHS tape to tape, and just being able to do effects and stuff, and then having to dub them to tape to go and do our senior projects, like he might have, or Cuffle might be the reason that we all graduated. You know?
I have a lot of millennials on my Facebook following, so can you talk to them about what tape is?
Tape is dead.
Tape is dead. So what else? The other one that you didn't talk about was Prank It Forward, which you worked on quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's my latest big move. It's honestly the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life, let alone just
And that was a hidden camera show?
Yeah, it was a digital hidden camera philanthropy series. So it was Pranks for Good.
It was OTT content.
Yeah.
Over-the-top content for digital. I just learned that last week. How about that?
Yeah, that's a new thing. We have to think about when we're pitching ideas now.
Sure. Well,
so where did that air?
It aired through Defy Media's multi-channel network. Right?
Yeah, but talk about what the show was. What was the show?
Prank It Forward is a philanthropy series where we chose marks, and instead of using our hidden camera expertise, instead of kicking them in the balls and giving them $50, we actually try to change their lives. So we networked with the people in their lives that wrote into us and chose them, and then pitched them to networks, pitched them to sponsors, and then got approved budget allocations. The first one I did, which is the best one I did, is called Housekeeper Keeps House, right? So we called it She's Got It Made. And the idea was to find a maid, bring her into a house with 17 hidden cameras, and through a series of pranks, end up giving her the house. So that's the first one I did, and it was pretty much impossible to beat.
So wait, can I ask you a question? So you said that people write in, and then you give them stuff. So did the maid write in and say, I want a house, and you guys went and found her and then just gave her a house? Because I wish I had known about that program then.
Right. No, that's what it turned into. So the original, I found the maid, and we looked at affordable low-income housing in areas like Detroit and Cleveland, and ended up landing on Cleveland when I got a maid company to play ball with me. Then I went out undercover as Sean Trevors. So my middle name's Trevor. My dad's name's Sean. So, unlike Travis, who has like 16 alter egos, my one alter ego was Sean Trevors, a web developer. So I went out to several of these maid companies, and with their boss's permission, the people that they were recommending, interviewed them under the guise of, we're going to upgrade, the maid service website, because you're coming into these people's houses, people want to get to know you. So I did simple interviews with them, even though as I walk in the room, the camera's on the whole time. And Cara, the one we ended up choosing, was the only one that cried on camera. And when I asked her a simple question, tell me how much your boss means to you. And she broke down on camera, and that's the one we chose out of 16 maids that I interviewed. She's the only one that cried on camera, so the executives wanted her. I went and found a house in her neighborhood so her children didn't have to change school districts. Worked with the National Housing Institute to purchase that house from the bank, flip it in 5 weeks, using her sister as an accomplice to get in her house and figure out her taste, so that when she walked in the house, the carpet, the paint, the furniture was everything that were like her ideals. So it was, as a project manager,
it's a big project.
It's the biggest thing I've ever done. Like, still, I flipped the house. We did in 5 weeks.
What was your budget? What did you spend then?
I think it was $250,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and the house, ended up costing us $80,000 because we did a great deal.
And so, talk about who sponsored that program? Because this is a real shift in what's going on in TV right now too. Sure. Because a lot of these the OTT content or the digital platform content, a lot of them are going to advertisers. So that's what I heard you were doing. So talk about who paid for that actual program.
Well, the whole series for the 2 years that I was at Defy was sponsored by Gallo Wine. So Barefoot Wine and Bubbly, which is a division of Gallo, EJ Gallo, which is
Did you say wine?
Yeah. Yeah, I was an alcohol sponsor.
Oh, because this is a very special episode, isn't it?
We have champagne.
Oh, we have
hold that up. Wait, no.
Is this barefoot champagne?
Casey, hold that up. Hold that up to the camera. Casey, hold that label up.
I can't. Let's show the
Casey, hold that label up.
I can't. This isn't
Why?
barefoot.
Wait,
I don't want to.
No. Are you coming in and biting off my... Are you getting sponsored? He's getting sponsor money. Come on my podcast.
Product placement on our show?
Oh.
What is
it? If this show is brought
Gallo
to you by
Wine.
anything,
You are not allowed to use any of this content, but we will take a sponsor anytime.
Okay, wait. If you start mentioning Fit Tea and you start getting money on my show because you mentioned Fit Tea, I want a cut of it.
Yeah.
Because I've now mentioned Fit Tea 4 times.
And that is a...
So Fit Tea, call me.
I got it. Brad Bayliner.
Brad Bayliner.
I can tell you the difficulties in working with an alcohol
Basically, all you have to do is say each word twice. Brad Bayliner.
That's a reference to Aaron Murray, who is an audio supervisor who has done prank shows. He's worked with me on a pilot called Monster Date. Aaron Murray, if you want to come up to the podcast, give us a call. We'd love to have you. He's got a delightful voice too, doesn't he?
He's always
and he'll show up with marinated salmon. The guy can cook.
Yeah. Well,
act. What's that short
tell
that we
him
watched?
Tell
like
him it's also something about cooking, even
and
though
we
don't even have to show the cooking. We'll just let him cook.
All right, but Casey, talk about how Gallo Wines gets involved in that. Did you guys? Gallo came and said we want to do a show.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is Gallo paying for the next 30 minutes of this show?
I'll send it over. But Gallo says what? They want to sponsor a show, and then they want to do a feel-good show, and you
cheers
guys go...
on the champagne. Thank you, anyway.
Yeah, cheers. I think there's
a moment we missed there. Okay.
There's a ton of companies that are interested in philanthropy and how that can show their brand in a and an alcohol company in particular was a challenge because it's like, hey, they want to show, that they're a good company and they're giving back to the community, which is challenging because of all the restrictions working with an alcohol brand. You can't have kids, you can't have cars, you can't have cancer. I call it the 3 C's, or children, cancer, cars, right? So,
right.
But they do, and they do beach cleanups and stuff like that. So it was a good fit. One of my favorite things about being the EP of that show was getting to pitch the brand directly on, hey, here's the idea, here's the maid, and them saying yes or no, and then being like, hey, we're greenlit. Like, very exciting part that the cameraman of the kiosk doesn't ever get to do.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough to ever find a job again that was like that for me, in that I sold them on a single idea. And unlike most of the prank shows that we've all done, you have 3-4 marks. This whole thing, man, the house, the location, everything is on a one mark. There's no second take. And being so what was true to our style, we didn't pick it up. That was a real reveal. We got it.
Yeah.
You guys know the rush of getting it when you get it live. We got it live with everything on the line and didn't have to pick it up.
We always get it live. We don't get pickup shots.
Because you rehearse and you know.
But like, he had Michelle Obama. How the hell did you get Michelle Obama?
Michelle Obama.
Obama?
Hey, listen, give him a break.
Do we have a delay in the show at all?
There's no delay.
It's incredible.
How'd you get Michelle Obama?
Incredible collabo with Extra TV, Mario Lopez, and producer Steve Sunshine. We found a vet. Again, I vetted all of the marks who are single marks. There's no second, there's no backup, there's no second take. Presented them with a couple of stories from write-ins. The one guy was looking for a job, and he had to sell his motorcycle because his grandfather died to pay for the funeral. I presented that to the team at Extra. They got me Michelle Obama, and they got the kid a job at the new Harry Potter land because he was a specialist in hydraulics and welding. I'm looking for jobs for this kid at like SpaceX or something like that. And, again, back to Steve Sunshine and the team at Extra, Mario Lopez, those guys showed that story to Michelle Obama. She said, yes, if you can get him a job, I'll do it. And it was literally a phone call with Steve Sunshine. He's like, what do you need? And it's like, kid needs a bike, a job, and a reveal. And he's a huge fan of NCIS, so he got Michael Weatherly, which is the guy's favorite show. So again, here's his likes. He loves NCIS. He loves motorcycles. And he's a welder, and Extra got all those things together in like one call to the president of Universal.
So that's a feel good show, huh?
Yeah,
it's
because I don't really get what's funny about it. It's a different kind of like prank. Here's a house and the girl's crying.
Yeah, what's the prank?
I don't get that. Like my note would have been like, no, less crying, right?
Right. Well, but I mean, when the audience is in on it, right? Like, in a lot of these shows, you want to hold the reveal.
No, I wish most of the shows I've worked on, that like at the VR, and we were giving them houses because we put some people through some shit,
right? And then give them 50.
And then we're like, "Hey, man, you're alive. That's all you get. You're alive."
I'm actually more curious, and this could be a show in itself. Is the aftermath? Like, you go back to all the shows that the three of us have worked on, which is like 50 shows. All those marks and where they're at now and how it psychologically affected their relationships.
I don't want to know that.
That's a show.
I don't want to see that.
Hey, listen, this is a good time to take a break, though. Check in with our social media manager over here. Leslie, I see you over there. You're poking away on Facebook. You got what's going on the comments? People ripping us up?
Oh, just Pistol.
Oh, Pistol.
Just Pistol.
Oh, good.
Who's Pistol?
He's a longtime friend. I love you, Pistol. Keep watching.
Attaboy, Pistol.
Attaboy, Pistol. Pistol, you know any sponsors, send them over my way. I need one. All right, so that's good. Prank It Forward's great, right? What'd you love working on?
Betty White's Off Their Rockers was an amazing experience because it really got to develop your in the crowd and completely unpredictable, like mindset is like, if anything can go wrong, it's going to go wrong, especially you're dealing with the elderly who are like children.
No,
and the fact that
they're going to
I don't know
if anything can go wrong, they're going to go wrong.
I don't know if you're legally allowed to talk about the elderly like that.
Well, they can only work 5 hours. I'm saying they're actually, if you're over 75 years old, you're treated as if you were under 15 as far as hours that you can work.
I'm changing my birth certificate tomorrow.
Oh man, they had amazing. They had 4 hours a day. We would work any actor at a time,
and
that's it.
The rigs that we developed,
that's all you could get out of them anyway.
Yeah. The rigs that we developed to shoot in those moving crowds,
cool,
and with Travis as a director playing a homeless guy who's sitting in a wheelchair under Duvetine, and we're in garbage cans and baby strollers, and right when the shit goes down,
we were acting more than the actors were actually.
Some looky-loo tourist is standing in the way, and you had to be mobile.
Yeah,
and we shot that thing all over the country. With
Travis,
we put on the best acting job of that whole show.
Travis, you went out, you directed some of those shows, right?
Which one? Which one?
Betty White Off Their Rockers.
I directed a third of it. There was 3 directors. We're all hitting the streets, just doing
for all seasons.
Well, I moved to Lifetime after NBC.
I was on the first season, and then the second season, they're like, "Thanks for showing us how to do it. We'll take it from here."
And from there,
then they got canceled because they tried to take it from here without us. And then
it's the story of your life, Trav.
And they got last injection of Narcan to keep them alive on Lifetime, and that didn't work out.
Well, and 3 seasons is all that could go. I mean, I finally got to meet Betty White in person on the set of Hot in Cleveland. She introduced us, finally was like, hey, here's the guys that do the reality show, but you can't go further than 3 seasons with somebody that's in their 80s, 90s, unless you're Hef, who did 4 seasons.
Casey, you can't talk like that about the elderly. You're going to get into trouble. Didn't you see Gabrielle Cartieres and the SAG-AFTRA thing going on? You can't put their age anymore.
I'm just saying that I don't think Betty White had it in her to both do
I disagree.
I disagree. 4 more seasons.
I would have liked to see Betty White go 4 more seasons.
Betty White worked.
She didn't want to.
Betty White had the easiest job of anybody on that show.
Why would you want to go 4 more seasons if you're Betty White?
She wasn't doing the pranks.
What does she need the money for?
I'm saying once you're in syndication, it's not worth anybody else's time.
I don't want to talk about Betty White.
That's mailbox money. No, I mean that show was a lot of
fun. Don't get surly on me, Travis.
Although
next thing you do, you'll be in your underwear doing thrusts over there.
The original was it Belgian series? Was it called?
Benidorm Bastards.
Benidorm Bastards featured full frontal nudity.
Yeah, I love Benidorm Bastards. That was so much better.
There's that elderly word again.
To push those limits would have been just so.
It was
exciting.
so much better.
So thrilling.
So much better. The Belgian.
Well, what'd you love about Betty White's Off Their Rockers though?
Getting paid that summer to have a job.
It was killer. No, that was killer though.
We went to New York.
And
that was
8-hour
fun.
days. We went to we shot in Central Park.
Yeah.
Remember Trey Anastasio from
we saw
Fish.
Trey from Fish.
We almost
just
pranked
walked
him.
Right past us.
Shout out to Jeremy Joel, who is a Trey fan, big time Trey fan. Jeremy, you have worked in pranks. You're more than welcome to come up here, sing us a couple original songs. Anytime you want to be on the podcast, let me know. Go ahead.
I'd say our best.
The
best part of Off the Rockers to me was when we went to Brooklyn and we were down for the day, and we went to Barcade and got really drunk, and in Brooklyn. Played
that was amazing.
Atari video games. That was the best part of Off the Rockers.
No, for me, shooting it both in Los Angeles and New York is to see the East Coast and West Coast version of dealing with the elderly, right? So out here, people are pretty much respectful to a crazy old person with their pants down. Out here, sir, you lost. More, apathetic.
Yeah, polite. Southern California, right. Polite, man. They love you out here.
And then you send Richard in to talk to a normal-looking young man. We prey on the
unemployed? No.
Well, unemployed, 19 to 24. Those are the best marks in hidden
sitting
camera
around doing nothing.
People that don't have anything to do that'll talk to you. You send Richard in to talk to somebody, and he's lost in an area in Malibu. Somebody will try to, be respectful and find him a phone or offer to call. In New York, you send a guy that's sitting in a bike helmet, you send Richard up to say, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And the guy goes,
take his wallet.
Get away from me or I'll kill you. And you're like, get him out of there. Get him out of there. Richard, walk away. So
get away from me, I'll kill you.
What a normal person looks like chilling, at a bus stop in Los Angeles versus in New York.
Do you remember?
It kind of blew my mind. I was like, oh my God.
Do you remember when we had Robbie Benson's mother, Ann Benson?
Yeah.
You know Ann Benson.
Greg Benson.
Yeah, I know. I've worked with Ann Benson.
So we've used Ann Benson on Fameless.
Yeah, that's right.
So do you remember when we had Ann Benson? We were in Huntington Beach, and she was doing this thing where she just walk up to guys and
hey, you want to go make out in the toilet?
Yo, I'm ready to go right now. You want to throw down? And she's actually a very attractive older woman.
Go on.
Can I say that? Did I offend anybody yet, Damon? And this one guy was
learning something new about Travis every day.
No, she's actually
the chit chat
attractive.
though. The chit
But
chat.
she said to some guy, she's like, she said this thing, and the whole joke was supposed to be like, you're supposed to catch people off guard. We're like, no,
crazy
sorry.
old lady.
Yeah. This guy's like, sure, fuck it.
Yeah, and he's married with a shiny wedding ring on.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, Ann, tell him you're gonna go freshen up and you're gonna come right back. And she's like, so I'm just gonna go freshen up and come right back. And she starts to walk away, and the guy started following her.
So to answer your
oh God, no! What have we created?
You know what though? Here's the thing that
psycho fucking trolling Huntington Beach, waiting for any opportunity.
78-year-old lady.
That guy's not gay. He's not straight. He's what I call an opportunist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that I learned.
Fuck anything that moves.
After doing scare tactics and putting people into situations where things go so haywire that I think that people in society have been so wired to be polite that it's gone the wrong way. Like, I will teach my kids that if something feels wrong in your gut, fucking run. Run your fucking ass off.
Right.
Because you know what? That's your inside saying something's wrong. And I've seen people... Yeah. Where Casey, you've seen it, Travis, you've seen it. Like,
oh no,
something's really wrong. Like a guy's with a knife or a syringe, and people are being polite. Like, oh, sir, I'm so sorry. No, I wouldn't like to eat any ice cream or get shot with medicine today by a syringe. No, run.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, to answer your question, that's my favorite part about hidden camera is the psychology of the mark. I've shot and seen the pupils of 3,000 marks.
Yeah.
And I still couldn't tell you 100% what that person's going to do because that fight or flight is real. And
it is.
You have your averages of what you've seen, but you still don't know the individual.
You know what's crazy?
It's the best study in people ever.
Yeah. You know what's crazy?
It's so fun. Yeah.
The easiest thing you can do to somebody is just turn off the lights. And it's just like, cha-cha-cha, everything just changes immediately. They're like, oh, what the fuck? Why did the lights go off? Like, why did the lights go off? Is that a ghost? Like, there's so many factors go through their brain that you
didn't you do a pilot like that once, Travis?
It's called
Dark.
Well, actually, Travis just did. Hey, Travis, talk about the show you just did because you just did a show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Talk about that show.
The
one
Nickelodeon?
Yeah. Can you talk about it or no?
I don't know. I don't think I signed anything, but I don't know if I.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's in the can, so don't give it away.
I mean, what am I giving? I don't even know if I can give anything away. I can just say I hid out in the dark. I was dressed as a clown. There's a lot of clown stuff going on right now.
A lot of clown stuff going on.
So
the kids are getting anxiety in Franklin, Massachusetts.
So yeah, I'm really topical right now. True. I'm working on Nickelodeon as a clown, scaring Nickelodeon's biggest stars. But yeah, that's what I did. Like we did a haunted house, and I scared all their little stars, so little stars of Nickelodeon. In the dark, and it was fun. Yeah, hanging out and
in the dark.
But that's the thing now. You just stare at. Just put on clothes, no cameras, and just go stand on the corner somewhere in America
Right.
And you have your own reality
Which
show.
is,
It's like everybody that goes by is
that's
like
scare tactics,
the audience.
right? Scare tactics was
without
Halloween,
cameras, without the audience.
Year-round Halloween. That's what Scare was, and that's why it was so fun. We lived Halloween every single
Except
day.
for if
Every
we had to
single
shoot
day.
near Halloween, because then nobody ever bought it.
Right, yeah.
I remember
our
when I was
downtime.
like the ranger, and there was a guy who was a werewolf, and it's like Halloween,
David,
and
you
they're like,
remember the
"Hey,
name
cool
of that, right?
costume."
My brain's getting really old.
Do you remember when you had me dress up
It's called
as like?
Wolf Ranger. No.
Do you remember when you had me play like a gothic guy? Like I was like Robert fucking
When you
Smith
were in a
from
you
like
were
the.
when you were in a chest.
Oh, the
You had
guy
me like
from-
play
that
the
was
guy
a
from The
gimp.
Cure almost. Like you had me like in this like.
Yeah, dude, that was a fun show because here's the thing. That show was great because they allow you to go out and build crazy characters. Like that was part of the fun of that. It's like a B movie character where the guy can be as crazy as you want him to be.
You were the
Like,
only director where I would like fly into town and then like I go to Damon's room and he'd be like, "So, like, you're gonna be a homeless guy and Jim Wilkie's gonna cut your leg off or whatever,
Yeah,
and
or
feed
leather,
you to
oh,
like
leather.
Jim Wilkie's gonna feed you to like a VFW hall or something like that. And you come, so he's got like delicatessen. And he's like watching delicatessen.
Yeah.
He's like, so here's my inspiration. And he's showing me delicatessen. Like
the USC education.
no other director
Top
that
of the
I've
line.
worked
Dude,
with
no-
has like had that kind of research put into the bit.
Well, that's
for
what I
the
was talking
day.
about. Like he's a hidden
the
camera
best.
director.
I loved
that
ripping
thinks about
off
the
as
line.
many movies as I could. Like just little things. I love that's the best.
See, but he was the only
A lot of
director who was
people
always
thought-
like was also like just like here, wear this wig, wear this jacket. We need to change you. Remember my favorite thing you ever directed me in was the photo one. Did you see that one? The 1 hour photo
1 hour photo. Oh,
with
Oh,
Rick
when you
Kramer.
had those glasses on. Is that
Oh,
when
You
had-
must have shot
yeah.
it.
That's when you had big glasses
And you
on.
took me to like the thrift stores and like made me buy these like weirdo clothes. One was like an El Cortez hotel jacket. Like we went to like downtown
I loved dude,
North
that was
Vegas
my I loved it.
I mean, the
That's
camaraderie.
when
built-
you were in the
Oh,
zone.
I don't think
Oh, it was
Alec.
the best.
I
See,
don't
you
think
were actually
Alec Healy-
enjoying it, and then at some point you're like, I don't want to direct. That's for assholes.
No,
But at
David-
that point, you're
David
like
used to brag.
inspired
He
and
goes,
into
I'm
it.
a-
Then you
I'm a
realize
director of a
the
hit
director's
cable
just a
TV
puppet
show.
dickhead on every show. You know what I mean?
I don't think that Alec Healy expected the camaraderie that we built because once our team was assembled out there and we knew it worked, like it was pretty unstoppable. Every person in every department wanted the bigger prank, the better result.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is that everybody. You look at what I was like 25 at that time, probably.
No way.
Wait,
You were 30.
Don't
No, I
flatter
wasn't that old.
yourself.
I was not that old. 30. 30. I was almost married, for
Right.
God's sake.
Yeah.
What was 2002?
No, you're right because you were Snapchatting everything all day. It's totally true.
No, but that was the best. Everybody lived together in the hotel. That's all you did.
that
You
was
go
our
out,
life.
You shoot scare tactics. You come back. You
This
go
is
to the
like-
casino.
you
You,
got-
smoke
this is-
cigarettes.
these
You
are-
drink. You gamble. You go to bed. You wake up. You do it all over again.
Right.
It's an alcoholic's dream.
full vampire lifestyle
Oh.
though. Like we
Working
wrap
on that show?
we
Or
wrap
just
it
working
too.
in Vegas.
That's working. That
Yeah.
that show was
Right,
yeah.
but when you say those things, like a normal a job shift would be daytime. We got off at 1 a.m. We went to the bar at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
My job
Back to the
shift
hotel at
You
8
was
sleep till
a.m.
12.
Yeah,
you
and
sleep
sleep
till 12.
till
My-
noon, get up
3
and go
p.m.
back to
my
work.
job
Yeah.
shift was the best. They'd be like, okay, can you come in tomorrow and be in this bit? You're gonna be killed by a vampire. I'm
Well,
like, okay, fine.
Look at some of
I
the other
fly
successful.
I get on a plane at 2, land at 4, on set by 5, walk through
High
the
by
bit.
5:10.
We go to lunch at 7. We shoot at 8. Pretty much get it by 10, and then I'm like, I'll see you guys at the casino.
I wanted to talk about some of the.
While
other
you guys are wrapping
successful-
cable, I'm like getting my party on. Then you guys show up.
Right. Well,
Then
I
we
mean,
hang out, and then
You got your
go back
shit
to work
done,
at like
Travis.
2 again the next afternoon.
But look at the other successful actors that came out of that. You got Joey Diaz, who's built an entire career, stand-up career, and Joe Rogan's guy. Sarah Colonna's on her second book, right? She was a soap opera actress
Yep.
before Scare, and now she's huge. You got actors like Nick Thomas who have sold features now. Richard Robichaux, who was in About a Boy, Oscar nominated. He was, my co-star in the Truth Episodes. I don't know if you guys remember. I got killed in 4 episodes of Scare Tactics.
After
Actually got some residual after money back in the day.
He's
too.
not just a producer, not just a cameraman, not just an art department guy.
My part was Casey,
not just a writer, not just a philanthropist, but also was
an actor who can play a cameraman.
Killed multiple times.
My mom actually had nightmares when Sven snapped my neck, or in the Truth Episodes.
When he pretended to snap your neck.
Right. Because that was always my deal. I'm like, and what you guys have done with Fameless, right? It's the show within a show. So Truth Episodes was a show within a Scare Tactics, which came from Fear Antics. So Fameless is all a string out of Fear Antics, which is the best part and the best reveal, right? Because this Mark who's brought in is forced to trust and listen to everything the producers say. So when you pull the rug out that the producers were also in on it, it's honestly the best reveal. And, the success of that. Dave Storrs is on every other commercial you see on TV, like the actors that came out of Scare, to see them this far, aside from the producers and writers who've all done amazing things. But those actors are like legends now,
Yeah. You brought up Nick Thomas. I mean, you said you want to talk about a project you have going right now with Nick. You want to talk about that now?
A little bit. Nick sold and.
Nick Thomas is one of the co-writers of Let's Be Cops, which did extremely well at the box office. Right.
I mean, and he's coming to his stride right now. I think he's got a pretty serious project in development with Billy Bob Thornton. The thing we're working on right now, not going to talk about fully, but it's, I moved to Los Angeles to make feature comedies. I thought that's for sure what I was going to get into. I didn't know I was going to be doing the naked news and watching people, scare the shit out of each other, doing hidden camera. But like to finally get into an area where one of our ideas that I've been kicking around for 3 years is actually kind of feasible because of timing.
Right.
For a connect like that, which again, from the camaraderie that we all share here at this table and everybody else that worked on Scare in those early days have all branched out from there to finally, hey, I got this idea, and to be able to get it in and actually, take it to an agency and be taken seriously is an end that you can't get. I have friends that have 7 feature scripts that are awesome sitting on a shelf, but no one will fucking read them, because you got to know somebody to get in there. And though I've had representation, since 2008, when Casanovas is actually how I ended up getting signed at an agency, because we got optioned at Paramount, just having that protection on an idea is the only way to do it. And I have this theory that as soon as you say something out loud, like at a party, like, oh, that'd be a great reality show idea, in a month that's going to be on TV. And so in this town,
Well, let me reassure you that every single reality idea has been pitched and been thought of thousands of times over.
Right. But
just
without
the matters
the timing,
of how you can get in the room and how you can sell it, and if the network wants to buy it from you.
And if you really believe in the idea, the room is like the most comfortable thing for me, because that's where you have to kind of just get in there and be like, you have to sell them on what you believe the idea is. So the option of getting in the room,
I think if you can be persistent without being annoying too, you could probably really make things happen.
Yeah, you got to let it breathe.
Think about the show we've been pitching. We're not being persistent or annoying yet. We're being very just put it out there.
It's out right now. You
put it out there.
What are you
it's like
you
know,
do though. I mean, 2 weeks.
I'm
to
not
them
like
is nothing.
I'm not clawing at the door every day, being like, "Have you heard anything?"
You can't.
You could, or I could, and maybe things move faster. Who knows?
I don't think
Who cares?
So, man. You know when somebody's feeling it or not.
For me, I'm a natural guy, and I go with natural vibes. And
is that hair natural?
This hair is very naturally how
that
I
hair
feel.
is not natural.
That's how I feel naturally. This is naturally
that
how
hair,
I feel.
That hair is
This is how I like
natural.
to rock it. This is how I like to rock it. I don't know how you rock it, but this is how I like to rock it. Is that hair natural for you?
Let me ask you.
Is that hair natural for you? Is that what your hair would look like if you didn't cut it?
How much did you pay for that that merm. Is that what you call it, a merm?
No, I call it a party. What do you call it? Hey, I'm not a funny guy. I'm just a fucking fun guy. That's my motif. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to be America's funny guy. I'm America's fun guy.
You know, I had my hair down today, and I went pony because I didn't want people
I don't know why you're scared. I don't know why you're scared.
Well, I have no curl like you.
Hey, Casey, you wear a man bun?
I don't call it a man bun.
I feel like you were wearing a man bun back in 2002.
There's a difference between guys with long hair
when I brush my teeth, so I have to keep my hair off my neck.
I'm not really sure what the man bun is. Like, because I saw like two guys. Like, we went and got burgers before
I don't put
we
a
showed up here.
chopstick in it. Fuck
there was
no.
two guys with short hair, and then their hair pulled into like some little pathetic little tiny baby penis. Or, you know, you have like guys with actual long hair that pull their hair off their neck. Just
it's a
like,
toss-up. I go with the ponytail, which is the most comfortable way.
But like, what's the man bun that everybody wants to hate?
You ever braid it or anything like that?
I love doing braids. You lose a lot of hair though when you do cornrows.
Say that again. You what?
I love doing braids. Like on game day, you know, I went to watch the Seahawks play the Rams. You know, all I wanted was just like 3 sick-ass cornrows, but...
Do you think you look tougher that way?
Is that a Seahawks thing, or what do you mean?
You think you'd look tougher that way? Like you put on a jumpsuit of some kind at that point, like a sweatsuit?
Whether you're short hair, a long hair, braided hair, or perm job, you know, you attract a different type of female. So you switch up the hair. I'm a single guy, you know, switch up the hair to, you know, try to at least be able to, like, oh, shit, that girl's looking at me because I got braids in.
Yo, it's called peacocking. It's called peacocking.
Give it a name, whatever. I'm mixing it up without
show
trying to lose.
You make it stand
the hair
up.
I have left.
Look at this stuff. Look at this. Look at all this color texture.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Stop looking. It looks like just like a squid ink spaghetti, basically.
There's real color in there. I can see it now.
Get it?
Yeah, it's spaghetti.
Dude, that's like you know,
God, it's so thick.
When I was younger, that's what all my fucking rock heroes looked like. They had a perm, apparently, I guess.
And now you're the rock hero, bro.
I'm trying to be.
Unreal.
I'm working my way back to the rock hero thing.
Where Travis has gone with his free time lately, his new music's insane.
Do it again. Show him. Show him you got your box with you today.
Oh, Jack Cannon fart machine.
That's how we roll here at the...
it's high-end comedy right there.
High-end comedy.
It's sponsor comedy.
Let me ask you guys, as pro pranksters, what's the future? What hasn't been done yet, aside from snuff?
A movie.
You know
real movie where somebody actually...
You guys did
like
that.
goes... No, somebody needs to spend a whole hour and a half on a story that makes sense. And for me, it could take a month to film. I think that would be the best part. Like, why do it? Like, whereas, like, we held him for 1 hour. It's like, let him think like he was just like on this internship for like a month. And
but you see the risk involved from somebody investing in that.
No, I don't, because I know how to make this stuff work. There's no risk when you have experts do it. How many times have we fucking brought it home where other people have tanked pilots? You know how many pilots in this genre have tanked because amateurs fucking like were just given money to set out to sea and they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
It's true, and the audience, you know, however much you want to spoon feed it to them, they know the difference between a real reveal and a pickup. They do, even though.
No, I believe that completely.
Because the real ones go viral immediately now. You know, what I mean, because you can feel the emotion. Like the real is more real. The other that's like what you're expecting, you know, is going to do regular numbers. But when you get a real reaction, like, you can't replace that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, some people are like scared to like take a prank that like lasts more than a few days because they're just so ready to blow their load too fast anyway. So they can't even fathom the idea of like not blowing their load like
for a month.
Like, and letting stuff just be real.
Yeah.
And being like, you know, without like taking it to a point where like somebody's feelings get hurt or any of this shit. Like you always want it to be fun in the end.
No, I mean,
always got to be fun in the end.
That was the secret formula to prank it forward.
That's the thing. You can never take it so far that we're like it gets mental or anything like that. But it's just you know.
You need that sweet twist at the end that ends up
money.
Being
just
feel good.
Fucking money is always sweet.
But I mean, the feel good reveal as opposed to the haha we fucked you for a month.
No, yeah, I don't want to fucking
that turn. That's what
torture
I think
vision is only
onto.
appealing to Russians. But nobody wants to do that.
I don't even know what that means.
Vladimir Putin
torturing people and then being
right
like,
now.
"Oh, just kidding. You're on Russian TV." Vladimir Putin.
I thought that was a Japanese show.
Something
Russian TV. No, that's Fuck TV. You got fuck on Fuck TV.
Well, I think that's the next step, though, too, right? And we've talked about this. I know Travis and I have, is taking our American brand of hidden camera pranks to Germany, to Spain, And I know Punk just sold China. They're doing a whole new series of Punk. Goldberg just sold China. They're doing that over there, the whole Chinese crew and everything. But to take our brand of American hidden camera and take it to Germany, where you can kind of get away with more shit, or the social norms aren't the same, that you can try different things with their local writers. And I know a few shows have, but like to take a full European tour of an existing idea would be a nice step for the world.
I've kind of always wanted to do a thing where like it's more like the prank's on me. And it's just dumb. It's called Dumb American, and it's me like.
That's what I thought I was
not
walking
knowing,
into tonight.
like being like set up like to walk into bad situations around the world, because I'm a dumb American. I don't know the cultural norm or whatever, so I'm getting pranked.
Some countries that does not end well at all.
Yeah, right.
You don't get out of that.
You just get your head cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's the new Philippines place where the new president is just gonna kill people? This is like platform.
Casey, talk about the Streamy Awards.
Oh right, I didn't win a Streamy again. The Streamy Awards started in 2009. We had our original series, if you remember, with Kip and Jeff called Casanovas. Yeah. Back before people were actually monetizing, we just made our own series and put it out there. So in 2009.
So for people who don't know what Casanovas is, do you want to talk about what Casanovas is?
Yeah, it was a scripted comedy that we put on the internet for free in 2009 when YouTube was new and we had the production resources. I had a company. We had the time. Kip and Jeff did the writing.
Yeah, Kip and Jeff who? Is that one name or is that a company?
Sorry.
Kip and Jeff. Kip and Jeff. Kip and Jeff.
It's like Ben and Jerry's.
Kip
like
Madsen
Ben and Jerry's.
Jeff Bunch, executive
Say it again
producers.
so everybody knows.
Kip Madsen and Jeff Bunch, they're executive producers.
Where's your lower third that says Kip Madsen, Jeff Bunch?
Stars. They were my roommates, so we lived in a house together and we had gear and we made our own show and put it out there. They really put themselves out there as actors. They didn't have like a ton of credits, even though they're both doing huge things. Jeff's a producer from Scare, and Kip was working at Carson Daly's late night show at the time and doing on-air shit every night. You know, but this was them putting their own writing and stuff out there. We were fortunate enough to get nominated in the first ever Streamy Awards, which Kip always joked called the Streakies. But we made.
Why do you call it the Streakies?
Just as a joke, because it wasn't taken seriously. It's like, oh, this is a YouTube stream thing. But Tube Filter and those guys, Josh Cohen and Drew Baldwin, were actually meeting with us to talk about this stuff, and we got nominated. Jeff and I got nominated for Best Director of a Comedy in 2009 against Joss Whedon.
Streaky Awards!
The director of the Avengers, right? So that's why I laugh about the Streamies that are supposed to be this, the small guy digital thing. So in my 3 Streamy nominations, I've been up against Joss Whedon, director of the Avengers.
Yep.
Last year for Prank It 4, I was up against Arnold Schwarzenegger. And this year with Prank It 4, I was up against Matt Damon. So
for what? What was Matt Damon?
Well, he did a prank where he put deserving people in a situation where they were in a Bourne mission.
Okay.
He didn't win either. So and Schwarzenegger didn't win either. So, we both lost. But, last year was a big LGBT year, so the award went there for that series. And this year it was kind of a transgender. I think it went to another LGBT type thing, girl power.
Yeah, that's what we bumped into you down at the Streamies. That's the ones they do down at YouTube.
Oh, yeah. We were shooting PewDiePie that day, right?
Yeah, we were shooting Scare
but,
PewDiePie.
Hey, that's how small this town has come.
Did PewDiePie win anything that night? Was he a part of that?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't
He
get
won another $1 million.
Right. So what have you spoken to PewDiePie lately?
No.
You have no contact?
No.
Does he still have a no contact order with you?
Listen. The only
is that because he has like
the only time I speak
restraining order
to PewDiePie is when I'm going to kidnap him and torture him
cameras
for
are
an
on.
entire day.
when the cameras
It's
are
fun
on
though, you know,
this face.
the process
and
of
this
getting
face
nominated
makes money.
You kind of have to know somebody that's on the board too, right? I mean, it's not like it's just me.
Oh, is that how it works? You have to know somebody to actually win an award?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that sounds about right.
It's the same with the Academy or the Grammys or anybody else, right?
That sounds so
album
jaded, Casey.
Yeah, but bro,
isn't
the
it
album
best
of
artistic
the
piece
album of the year
man.
award
Come
at the
on.
Grammys means the person who made
Don't-
the most money on their
Don't be
album.
so,
It doesn't have
don't be so
anything to do with the music.
cynical.
I'm just telling you how
Art prevails.
all those. No, it doesn't. It's the business. The business of the art prevails.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, you can get an honorable mention for having great art, but if your art doesn't make money, you're not going to win the award.
No. If your art does not distract.
Money.
I love it. It's getting very philosophical around here.
Yeah.
What else you want to talk about?
My comedy waterfall. We're going to talk about that, right? Comedy Car Hole was a garage show that we started. My cougar buddies and I that used to do stand-up.
You can start it over again.
We wanted
No,
to do
everybody.
stand-up
No,
over
they
there.
could see that I was making.
I'm just saying. Currently, we're still doing the same thing.
We'll start it
that
off from the
we've
beginning
done.
because you guys have been doing a comedy show for a long time.
Let's set up what Comedy Car Hole was and now what the progression is. So
Comedy Car Hole
what
is
you've made.
It's the original garage comedy club in Los Angeles, and it came from all of us PAs that wanted to do stand-up, going to open mics, and realizing that the only people in the audience were other comics that were stealing our jokes. And then 2 weeks later, you'd see them at another open mic, and you'd see these guys that were in your audience actually doing your jokes. So we decided to consolidate it. Nobody's going to rip you off.
Like who? Carlos? You saw Carlos Mencia walk in with a trench coat and a cap on, and you're like,
yeah, because that was like
2
back
weeks
in those
later.
days. Was
Right.
Mencia stealing your shit?
No, there's no rules to that stuff. But we definitely had a
No.
mall.
There
We
are
definitely had a
rules.
I
mall.
want to
There
hear
are-
names dropped tonight.
There are
No.
rules to
I
stealing
want to hear
somebody's
names.
jokes.
I want people outed.
Stealing jokes isn't
Get off my show if you're not going to out
atrocity.
anybody.
But if it's from somebody at an open mic with 500 people a month, no, who's going to call out that guy? Who's the one guy that got up and bombed? So Comedy Car Hole, Pat and Al and Piven all started. Pat Sheehan, Al Higbee, and Ryan Wise.
Ryan Wise is actually currently an editor on Fameless as well. So
Genius director, editor, all-around production guru who had the foresight of like, hey, I'm going to donate my garage, much like this studio, as a workspace that I can do my creativity and bring in others who are interested in the same thing. And we did it every 3 weeks for 10 years before the owner they were renting from sold that house. And now Pat and I have tried to continue that by keeping the band together on a free comedy show. Come out to our house. Comedy's on us. If you want keg beer, it's $5 all you can drink, but it's an open forum for comics and, some huge names.
There's a lot of voices in the Sylmar area that need to be heard.
It's tough to get out to our place, but the waterfall, the only house rule is when you're done with your set, because we actually built the stage in the waterfall of our pool. So the only house rule is when you're done with your set, you have to jump in. And when we found the place and looked at the waterfall, it looked shitty on Craigslist. I was like, oh man, I don't know how to do stucco. But when we saw it, I was like, that's not a waterfall. It's a stage. So, it is kind of our form of getting back together, and new cougs like us that are trying to get into entertainment business and out of the news. The Comedy Car Hole was a forum to meet all these other guys that are like-minded, that always dream themselves on SNL, not NBC Nightly News. And even though, my place is pretty deep in the valley and hard to get to, it still has that camaraderie. It's like there's no rules here. That you can bring your own booze. You can,
Is that who all those young kids are I don't recognize are? Are they cougs?
No. But I'm saying anybody.
There's like a lot of people. I'm like, who are these kids?
Yeah, we get
that's
pretty big
Chad
crowds.
Hey,
like
Travis,
75
let me break
people.
some
Chad McKenzie's
news
friends,
to
right,
you.
or what?
Travis, everybody to you now is a kid.
Yeah, there is a coug, basically. Like, you're a coug.
So, I mean, for me, it's more just a show that we're still, behind this, because you've had, big shows like Garage Comedy at El Cid, and then Vice's new show Flophouse, which is basically what Comedy
rip-off of Carl Hole.
Well, it's not a rip-off.
Well,
they actually did it. We just keep giving it away for free because
they did it when TV shows started being shot in that manner. But you guys were doing it way before anybody made a show. But whoever did that show had probably been to a car hole.
Yeah, there was a mole the whole time. And
there was a mole.
Several network shows. Yeah. I mean, we don't know who the mole was.
There's a thing called Comedy Living Room that apparently is really big.
I just got totally lost. What do you mean there was a mole there?
I mean,
people have taken ideas. They get inspired by
when you have 100 people in your house.
That doesn't happen.
There's one guy in the back that's got that gets. You
know how many yacht rock bands I've launched?
No.
I gotta wear white.
How many?
We're gonna have a percussion drum solo.
Many? Wait. How many yacht rock bands have you launched?
I would say at least 32.
32.
It's an incubator, and you don't know all the chicks that walk out of there. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah,
a place where you bring 100 comics together.
When I saw that Vice show, I was like, "That's the car hole."
But that's not what
actually, what I was doing is like, I told those fuckers a long time ago they should have made a show. God damn it!
And we shot them all. We have Ben Glebe and Norm Macdonald.
What's amazing is you guys have like so many people on archive.
Rob Delaney.
It's archival. They have more than a TV show. They have an archive.
Well, because that stuff's second.
You guys have a fucking library of comedy instead of a library of Congress.
500 hours of comics over.
They've got great stuff.
So.
Yeah. You have is more valuable than a stupid TV show.
That's how we feel about it too, and more so the concept of come to my house. Don't care who you are. You might watch a big comic. In 3 years, they have an HBO special. Nobody paid anything for it. It's a forum for some comfortability for artists to get up there. And I mean, Travis used to say it best. Carl takes it to the streets.
Yeah, they did take it to the streets.
Inevitably, whoever is in the lineup, it's their first time, and you got to bomb in a backhole comic. When you bomb in somebody's yard, it's like at the club when people are paying $2 minimums or 2 drink minimums. They'll clap for your jokes, but you bomb in a backyard, you bomb, and you go home and work on your shit, and then all of a sudden you get an HBO show in 3 years. Yeah. So,
I mean, we saw Kumar named Johnny or whatever.
Totally. He wouldn't open
for Norm.
We saw
Eric Andre. We saw Norm Macdonald. We saw so many people over the years.
Yeah, those guys don't come to my pool. But I need your guys' help to get Joey Diaz out there, because see him do a cannonball in my pool, that's viral video. And I can set you up.
Damon can get you Joey Diaz.
Well, I went and watched.
No. Let me be straight about one thing.
Damon and Joey.
Listen. Joey Diaz.
Joey Diaz is tight with nobody.
Joey
Diaz. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's right.
Joey Diaz books Joey Diaz. That's the only person who books
right.
Joey.
You got it. If you want to suck Joey Diaz's dick, you got to suck Joey Diaz's dick.
I'm this close to landing Sarah Colonna, but she's married to the Seahawks punter now, John Ryan. So she's at every game. I can't get her on a weekend. Yeah. It's impossible. She'd do it for me, or if Travis's band would ever book a gig. Yeah, Knights of Monte Carlo were supposed to play the Waterfall the last 3 years, and every member of the band says, "Ask Trav."
Hey, Casey, hang on. Since he's out of the room, we got to be careful with him.
Oh, what's he doing?
I have no idea what he's doing.
Chrissy, he didn't bring a gun, did he?
I don't know, but is this like an 8-hour podcast?
No, it's an hour. It's an hour right now.
Oh, okay. He's probably peeing. It just seemed like you were gearing up.
He better come back in a wolf mask.
No. I was just teasing. He's had a couple of drinks. He's probably just using the facilities. Yeah. What else, Casey, you want to talk about? That's the hour mark. Is there anything else that?
I'm more curious into what you have next. You've been at the upper echelon for 14 years, bro. When I met you, you're already a director. You're still up there doing the damn thing.
Yeah,
what's next for you?
That upper echelon.
You are, though.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, you hire and fire and make lives happen.
No, I got a lot of secret projects going on that I've written a ton of scripts and I have a ton of reality ideas, but dude, I don't want to share them with anybody because I don't want to get stolen. So I've got them in my closet, and someday I'll release them all.
This forum's
no, I mean, dude, I'm working on Fameless. Fameless is keeping me busy right now, and there's some other things coming up. I just got a call today from Henry Coda, who you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Travis and that's what
Jamie Kennedy. I worked with.
Jamie Kennedy. I just got a call from Henry Coda
Spy
today.
TV, Henry Coda,
who's got some stuff going on. And I listen. you know how this town is. There's always somebody's got a show coming, somebody's got a show coming, somebody's got a show coming, and then you're out of work until January.
Yeah.
So it's up and down. It just depends, But I'm on Famous right now.
Comedy comes and goes in like phases, basically. Like what's cool, what's funny, what's, you know what I mean? Comedy changes a lot. Pranks will never die.
You think so? You like pranks? You think
pranks will never die?
Yeah.
They've been happening forever. But comedy is like, oh, this is funny. Like you can like, 10 years ago you'd make a gay joke. That shit was funny. Now it's like, what are you kind of stupid now or whatever? But like pranks are still pranks. They'll always be funny. Pranks will never die.
I have a documentary in post-production too that has been there for a minute, and it's about the history of the Los Angeles dispensary scene. I call it Boardwalk Empire. We're looking for a distro on that and have it out to a few sponsors right now. But that's a big turn, right? When California legalizes recreational this year, and I know I've been on this soapbox, this pop box for a long time, lost a lot of friends, a lot of respect for my family and stuff, but like we got it, dude. It's Alaska, Washington, Oregon. California's the last link, and then we legalize Mexico. But like as much as people want to,
now you're into it or you're against it?
I'm 100% for it. Have been.
Why are you for it now?
What do you mean?
Weren't you against it at one point?
No way.
There wasn't one point where you saw like that there was a downfall.
Oh, we starting
to
shit
it.
This guy. No,
no.
There's
at
no
one
shortfall.
point there was an argument against it.
It's the new cotton, man. It's
because
the commodity
what
that
it'll
saves
do.
our country.
Let me tell you guys, this is how I feel about the conversation about the legalization and the pot, because there's about 1,000 podcasts out there about them.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what? Let's talk about pranks. What else you got to pitch?
I want to do a show with Travis, and he has to, just like his video that opened up this podcast with, he has to play every part. You should direct it.
I can do that.
You should direct it.
I would love to do that.
Christy can write it.
We're like, someone is locked alone with me for a weekend on an island, and I play 32 characters.
That happened to me in Las Vegas. It was called Scare Tactics.
I will do that.
It was frightening.
I will do that. I'll fucking do that show.
No,
Who's
man,
got the dough?
I don't have
Casey, what else?
Because we can bring it home.
Wrap it
That's
up
the thing.
soon.
We actually make shows work where other
else?
people fake them.
What else you want to pitch tonight? You got anything else you want to talk about? So the comedy waterfall.
Yeah, we're looking to
Wait,
maybe do
so
like,
no, are you? Okay, sorry.
No, when you were out,
Travis,
Christy just asked me when you were out. She said, "How is this the longest podcast in the history of the history?"
How long?
I just said it's only an hour.
Yeah.
What do we normally go?
An
That make
hour?
it seem long,
Okay,
probably.
so we're ready. We'll wrap it up.
No, but what else? Anything else you want to pitch? And it takes me. Listen, it takes me 14 hours to get the podcast up and broadcasting,
been here
and
for
then I
13
broadcast for an hour, and then it takes me another 14 hours to get it back up. So, what are you gonna do?
I mean, I think live is something that really hasn't been totally, accomplished again, unless you're SNL. But to do like a live prank show with the turn like they used to, where the camera would turn off the set to your cigarette sponsor. Like, why can't we go back to the origins of TV now that everything, everybody's got the internet in Africa and everywhere else via satellite?
It's the same reason why you don't hear singers that don't use auto-tune.
So who's the sponsor?
We're
that
gotten
wants to take
fat
on
and lazy,
that
and
mode?
we don't work like we used to. We're not workers.
Travis is more pessimistic. I'm looking for the next best thing. Like I said, Prank It Forward is by far and away the most accomplished and most fulfilling thing I've ever done. And in my search for the next gig for, the last couple months, there's nothing that's even come close to that. So whether that's a feature film or a live show, like that feel-good moment at the end really does resonate with audiences regardless of your sponsor. So, whoever's willing to take that chance again, I think, the dividends for them as a sponsor or a production company are going to be tenfold because it hasn't been done and it's too risky by standards. But it's like, if you're throwing $50,000 budgets around, what this guy could do with $50,000, I mean, give me a break.
I can do an hour and a half movie with like $1,000, actually.
That's what I'm saying.
It'd be that easy. You'd make your fucking head spin.
Yeah.
Like, people are so stupid when it comes to money.
I believe that you could do
Like,
an hour and a
when
half
it comes to
feature for $1,000.
Yeah. What is? I mean, like
it would star you, directed by you, written by you,
scored by me,
edited by you. Yeah. You are a Renaissance man.
If I could, no, but people don't want that.
They want you, Trav. You just can't see it.
No, what do you mean I can't see it? I can fucking see it, bro. I fucking see it clearly now. Now that the rain is gone.
All right, Casey, where do people find you? You got a website or anything like that?
I mean, you can check out Green Rush Movie if you've never seen my feature that's on Netflix and iTunes. We lived a year in the life of a California pot farmer. You know, it's done very well, and we're up for a new distribution contract. That mailbox money for life. You know, it's not anything yet, but you know, it's a movie that I still get daily emails on through our sites there.
Yeah. And so, what's the website for that movie?
GreenRushMovie.com.
GreenRushMovie.com. Okay.
Yeah. And Boardwalk Empire, we're still trying to get out there, but you can check all of Sean Cush's. No, it's not done yet, but the web series Hash Bar TV still exists, so you can check in on what's going on with Sean, the main character. Other than that, I don't have a personal website or anything like that.
I don't got a personal website either, y'all.
Travis triple threat though, except for the dancing.
I don't know. The dance at thrusting is unbelievable.
You can thrust.
Do you want to hear my song?
Yeah, Travis. No. Before we go, Travis, tell people where to find your newest, latest, greatest video, so they can go there after the podcast is done. Wait,
I gotta write guests here.
And again, you can always go to the Pro Prankster. ProPrankster.com.
Damn.
Is the
is it just guests?
The Pro Prankster podcast. But subscribe. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on everything to the audio version of this whole thing.
What's the password to your computer? Guest one guest?
It's just guest with a capital G. It says it right there on the thing. I don't make it too hard for you.
I seriously think you could add a little edge to this podcast if this is going to be your official.
This podcast fucking sucks, man. I've fucking been listening. It's fucking.
If this is your official intro song, though, make the guest do it with no pants.
All right.
I mean, you don't have to.
Here we go.
Make this guy take.
I'm gonna try to play this out, but like, I don't think we got the volume. But you know what? I got some notes.
I got
some notes because
hey, listen. I am the network now.
Ever since
I decide what happens.
He's taking his pants off. He's taking his pants off. Look, I'm reaching from shot to shot. Look, you can see. Oh my God, that's patriotic right there, though. That's pretty good.
Let's do this.
All right, here we go. Ready? But I have
Travis. Tell him what this is. Tell him what's coming up.
I went to iTunes and I watched this or listened to this podcast. This podcast is terrible.
Yeah, this pipecast.
It's terrible. So
fucking stoner.
I'm going to make it better now by playing this song. Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We've had Casey Cassidy, Damon Zwicker, Travis Strapp, Leslie Zwicker, Christina Wilson in the house. Good night. Peace be all with all y'all. Love, 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 love.
Oh, hold on. Are you closing up?
Ah! Why are you not playing my sound?
It's his show.
No. Because, it's my show, bro.
Okay, I'm going back.
Can we collaborate and say, it's a good time, man?
Travis always got to be the front man. Always.
All right, so Travis, I got to bring up I got to pot it up.
Okay.
So stand by.
Before you pot me up, what do you want to say before we close this one out?
Oh, well, he's going to argue with you about.
Make sure the camera's not on me real quick.
Oh, jeez.
All right, camera up. Camera 2.
My head. All right, let me bring the audio up.
Hey, thanks again for having me on.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Subscribe and download, and we'll get a sponsor soon, and we'll get we'll just keep going. I was going to say we'll get bigger guests in, but I'm pretty happy with the guests already, so there you go. Thank you, Casey Cassidy.
That's the biggest guest we've ever had right there.
I love it. I love having Casey out.
All right, take off your pants, bro.
They can't see the video. Someday we'll get to be able to feed this in.
Yeah, one of these days we'll get the video available.